Well, this month, the governor has two big dates that he's eyeing. First, on January 10th, that's his deadline to present the first draft of his state spending plan. And on January 20th is when incoming President Donald Trump gets inaugurated. The governor is potentially eyeing a speech that encompasses both the State of the State address and his state spending plan to knock out both before the incoming president takes office.
I thought I would perhaps do everybody a favor by collapsing them into one presentation, which I'm looking forward to doing in a week or so.
Governor Gavin Newsom preparing both his proposed state spending plan and California's State of the State address before Trump takes office. He's been floating this idea for the last few weeks, but signaled it's what he wants to do as of Friday.
I think the viewership likely will be down this year if I do another 2-hour budget presentation.
Newsom has a deadline to submit the first draft of the state budget by next Friday, one that's expected to include numerous efforts to prepare for the incoming Trump administration. The governor has already called a special session for the legislature to set aside $25 million to prepare for legal battles with the new federal government. Those could be related to the environment, immigration, health, and more. This while California faces a slight budget shortfall of about $2 billion.
The budget is a lot of unknowns because it's an initial estimate.
McGeorge School of Law professor Chris McCaley notes California's financial future is unclear.
While the governor has to submit his budget to the legislature no later than January 10th, the big unknown is what does the Trump administration beginning January 20th propose to do? Will they withdraw some federal funding, a small amount, a significant amount?
Meanwhile, Governor Gavin Newsom has said he tried to reach out to Trump right after the election. He apparently still has not heard back.
As it relates to the president, we haven't had a chance to discuss, haven't had a chance to talk, since his election to office.
Now, one thing that could complicate the governor's plan of doing both the state budget presentation and his State of the State together is that the former president, Jimmy Carter's funeral is on Thursday, January 9th. It's not clear yet if the governor plans on going or how he might work around the state budget to accommodate that event. Reporting at the state capitol, Ashley Zavala, KCRA 3 News.
And according to the California Budget and Policy Center, federal funds right now represent more than a third of California's budget, providing some $153 billion. And most of that helps with health care expenses, but also several billion helps with public education, workforce development, as well as transportation.